That's good. Okay, now it's recording, I think.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, welcome back to the studio.
Thank you.
And you have everything
Mhm.
already. You had your session, and you have your images. You have the prints.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but this is not about that. I wanted to ask you about you and about your work and a
Okay.
few kind of questions about life, if that's okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So you just turned 50
Yes.
and standing now on the other side. Who is that stranger that you are meeting now in the mirror?
I would say someone who has learned a lot, someone who now respects that certain things that were hard before, it was just the way that they were meant to be to get through it, and that it's part of life. And I can respect that now. Years ago going through it, there was pain and uh, tiredness and everything trying to get through your struggles. But on the other side of this, I can actually see that that's just the way life is sometimes, but that you learn from it. And I feel like it's made me better at managing different things that come my way now.
This is a beautiful answer. I was just
Oh,
almost like holding my breath just listening to you talk about it. I can feel that you went through so many things, but it's just like
yeah, and
such a
just,
beautiful
yeah,
way
you
you
come out on
put
the
it.
other side and you learn how much stronger it makes you and how you can deal with things realizing they're not quite as that big of a deal as you thought they were.
Ah,
Hmm.
I see. I know that you describe yourself as an artist.
Hmm.
There is an art in what you do.
There
So I
is.
wanted to talk about this a little bit. So when you using fillers,
Uh-huh.
can you walk me through your creative process? Because there's
Sure.
creativity to it.
There is. I mean, you do need to understand the basics, the anatomy, and where certain lighting points, just like what you look for, points of nice light and everything. And you want to accentuate that with filler as well, because that contour is part of what makes us youthful, but also the softness too. You don't want things to be too edgy. I had someone come in the other day and she had the most beautiful cheekbones, but then she looked super hollowed, and that was actually what was aging her. So I was able to use filler and soften this just a little bit so that now everything goes together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, the term spatial balancing get kicked around a lot over social media, and full face balancing does not always mean putting filler in every single area of the face. It means accentuating what needs to be accentuated and reducing what we're trying to reduce, which are certain shadows and hollows that might be aging us. And so there's definitely a fine art to it. I also teach it as well. And
You do.
yes, yeah, we can teach it by the numbers. All the companies do, right? This goes in this place, and this is where you put it, and you mark this, and this. But not everybody is one size fits all, and you also have to take cultural bias into the picture as well.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because certain cultures like the high cheekbone with a slightly flatter cheek. Some like the
Preferences are
nice
different.
fullness of the cheek.
Mm-hmm.
Some, you have to think in terms of masculine versus feminine. You don't want to masculinize someone who doesn't want that, and you don't
Mm-hmm.
want to feminize someone who doesn't want that. So there are certain things that you have to put in in order and together when looking at the whole picture so that you can give them the best result possible.
That's a very interesting overview because
Hmm.
I knew there is mastery to it, but
Hmm.
I did not even realize what goes into
Yeah,
that until you
yeah.
just spoke of that.
Hmm.
Very interesting. And now I will know. In your profession, you literally help women put their best face on, right?
Hmm.
Not only women, but you
Yeah.
work with a lot of women. But in our world that is obsessed with perfection, where is the line? in your
That is
opinion,
a good
between
question.
wanting to look good and feeling that you just try to discard everything that happens to you and your body?
That is actually a very good question because some people do try to chase the unattainable. And they have to understand that just because this person was able to attain the full lip, they may not have been born that way and they may not be able to carry that full lip and it look natural on them. Sometimes, their face doesn't look quite right in certain shapes. I am someone who likes to respect our uniqueness. I'll have some people that are, if they're truly unhappy with something, I'll let them know how we can fix it. And if I can't, who I can send them to that will help them. But I also ask them, why does this bother them so much? Because some of it is their uniqueness, whether it's a slight hump on the nose or maybe a sharper chin or what have you. And not all of it has to be fixed. I think that we need to embrace some of our uniqueness because that's what makes us different. And I'm hoping that the last 3 to 5 years of people coming out of these med spas looking like Barbies over and over and over again. I hope that starts to drift, and it actually is starting to because people are starting to get some of their stuff dissolved and try to go back to more of a natural aesthetic. That's a little bit more like what God gave them instead of like one of the Jenners or the Kardashians or what have you.
Mm-hmm. And I can feel your pain when you talk about everyone working out as
Yes.
looking like Barbie. And actually, while you were talking, I remembered that I used to dislike my white nose very much. And I even went for a consultation asking about the surgery. And the surgeon said he would never do it to me and send me on my way. And later on, I realized that he actually did me a very big favor, but by sending me away and not.
Did he explain
discussing
why?
surgery.
Did he say it looks great? Why would you want to change
Yes,
this?
he said that I definitely did not need that, and it's just my appearance that I should embrace. And I actually came to terms with that, and now
And now
I
it's
feel
just
it. This is just
part
my
of you.
Yes, I love that. So thank you for reminding me about that. Now, we are all told to age gracefully, but for many women, we also feel like we are being silenced and just lose themselves. We being told to move over. How do you, both in your work and in your life, reconcile that cultural expectations with your journey?
So, aging gracefully does not necessarily mean that you have to get things done. Aging gracefully is approaching it on your own terms and the way that you are happy with it. Some women are going to be like me and they want to get skin treatments and injectables sometimes and maintain a little bit more of a youthful appearance, trying to delay what appears to be aging. And that's where my comfort is. Uh, Other women, they don't want to get things done, but they can still approach aging gracefully in their own way. Whether it's just finding their confidence with where they are in their body and in their atmosphere, or whether it's maybe just doing simple things like a different hairstyle or something, something to make them feel good, make them feel confident in themselves, whether it's in their own skin or in their own environment. And they're still aging gracefully. They're just doing it in their own way. If they want to do it with treatments, I can certainly help them with that. If they're wanting to do it in the other way I'm doing it, which is I'm seeing a functional medicine doctor so I can get on hormones and supplements so that I can feel more like myself again, because I certainly have not felt like myself in the last 3 to 5 years. And I knew it was possibly menopause coming on. I just didn't realize to what extent I had let it get. And now that I'm seeing how things are feeling better, it's making a difference to me in my life and some of the decisions I'm making now too on my activity level or, how I want to approach certain things. And so there is not a one size fits all on aging gracefully. I feel like it can be attuned to each woman in the manner that they want to age. I mean, look at Jamie Lee Curtis. She does minimal, yeah, and she's great, and she's got great bone structure, God bless her. And she probably just does minimal like skin treatments and stuff. She says she doesn't want to do any injectables or any surgeries or anything. And I respect that. She'd rather age gracefully in her own way, whereas a lot of Hollywood is like, no, you got to do this. And you've got this other group, which they keep doing surgery after surgery, trying to compete
Right.
with the 20 and 30-year-olds instead of making Hollywood see that there is something to the 40s and 50s, and Hollywood needs to respect that. Instead, they're giving in to Hollywood. And really, some of them, their names are so big at this point, they should demand the respect. Hollywood should actually gear to what they are wanting to do, and you do see a few women doing that, but there needs to be more than just those few to really make a statement and really kind of change the standards on how actors are selected and such.
I cannot agree with you more because I feel the same about what is going on. But at the end, we are saying that everyone is allowed to pick their way of going about it and either give in to pressure and request, decide to step away and just fade into non-existence, or just take their place and do some things that they feel make them look and feel better about themselves. And I love that. And okay, one of the reasons that at this stage in our lives, 50 and above, that the fire that we had inside of us during our 20s and 30s now kind of disappears slightly and slowly. What did it take for you to find that fire again? I can see it in your face, I can see it in your eyes, and I can feel it in the way you speak.
Yeah, I mean, it's just finding things that make you comfortable and confident in your own skin again, really. And for me, it took, getting back on hormones, feeling normal again. It took finding other women in the same sphere that I am that are going through the same things, and, realizing that, we're not going to take it anymore, that we deserve to have the medicine and we deserve to have these things, that we need as we go through this stage of life. That has helped, definitely. I've joined some different groups just on social and what have you, and I get to see what they're going through and what they say, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're all in the same boat, And I feel like, again, because it's where I work and everything, keeping up with the way I look and everything, and doing it in such a natural looking way, which is my aesthetic of what I like, I feel confident in that as well. And so just finding the different things that make me feel confident and comfortable in my skin has led me to realize, I'm still me, and I'm still that same girl that I was at 20, but with higher standards, more educated decisions, and more forgiveness. And I don't mean forgiveness for everybody, but also forgiveness for myself, because nothing's perfect. And, I didn't always make the right decisions, but it's what got me to where I am. And it's okay to forgive that younger self for deciding what she decided when she did. These are all important things so that you can move forward and not keep reliving the past.
Oh my gosh, you literally just answered my next question, because the question was, what do you want to say to your younger self? And part of that you already answered. Is there anything else?
Well, actually, the most important thing I tell my younger self is start a retirement plan early. Because, back then, well, I guess some of the kids nowadays still, they don't think about that. They're young. They're never going to die. They're never going to get to the point where they have to worry about it. And I tell you what, if I could tell her to invest and to have a retirement plan started as soon as she graduates college and never pull from it, just keep investing, I'd be in a much more comfortable place right now, I'm sure, maybe even looking at early retirement. But I'm definitely not there.
That's a great reminder. I think you're the first one to speak about that. That's a good one, really. Um, Many people in this stage of life are navigating new relationship, whether it's just a friendship or a romantic one. What's one thing you look for in a connection now that you never would have prioritized in your 20s or 30s?
Sense of humor. I mean, it's always been somewhat important for me, but of course, younger you look for the attraction and and stuff. But attraction can sometimes fade a little bit. Not that you're not always still in a relationship and wanting to be in that relationship, but the hot and heavies sometimes wean off just a little bit. But the one thing that will always attract me is a good sense of humor. I was actually talking about this with some girlfriends the other day. And she said I was considered a sapiosexual because I prefer intelligence and a sense of humor. And I may even think a guy who others may not think is that attractive, but he's attractive to me because he's attracting my mind and my sense of humor.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we just recently done your portrait session.
Yes.
Her story, and I wanted to ask you, when you first saw those images, some of them straight out of the camera, some on a bigger screen, what that told you about you? What were you able to rediscover about you or see?
I need to let go and relax. I tell you that you made it look simple and you made the pictures come out looking great, but my anxiety level went through the roof trying to take those photos. I had trouble relaxing and just, you had to keep telling me, okay, just, look off, think about something else, whatever, and that surprised me how my anxiety shot up with it. I thought I could just easily, goof off in front of the camera and stuff, but that's definitely not what these sessions are about. And you actually did a good job of helping me through each step and trying to relax. And when I finally got some of those relaxed moments, you were able to capture it on the camera too, which was really nice.
What was one thing that maybe is stuck with you now, something that I kept telling you during the session?
Basically, really, it was just the whole thing. Just relax your shoulders back. Also chin forward a little bit so that way the neck looks nice. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I like that. So now for my photos, I'm like, okay, let's.
There you go.
Play with shadows here. But yeah, just the simple thing of trying to relax and picture if I'm in certain situations, picture something else, whether it's a friend of mine and like a guy that I would want to flirt with, and just kind of get some of these relaxed stances, thinking about those kind of things.
I love it, and this definitely sticks with you now. I literally told you that before you take any selfies, you're gonna be doing this. Chin forward,
chin forward.
Yes, shoulders down, and all the good stuff. Yes. Okay. Let's get for 1 second back to what you do. So your work has given you a unique perspective on people. You see them differently, you read them differently. So how has that changed the entire way you read a room or when you meet a new person?
Well, and I'm sure every provider will tell you this. As soon as you meet someone new, you're already thinking in your head, oh, good job on doing this, this, and this, or I can help you with this, this, and this.
Okay.
And it's just an automatic. It's not something that we intentionally go in doing, but once you've done it long enough, you can pretty much look at a person's face and assess exactly what you want within like 5 seconds or less, and have a good idea on whether or not that person's actually doing decent skincare, or they've already started a journey through their beauty regimen, or if they're just doing it kind of, halfway and not really paying attention to the ingredients, or just not doing it in a nice daily routine. Maybe they just do it here and there sporadically. Um, and I don't mean to do that, but it's just the way it is. When I walk into a room, I'm so trained at looking for the nuances of beauty and things that I can do to make things look their best. That's just how it happens throughout the whole room as I see people. And so,
That totally makes sense to me.
yeah,
I do the same
probably
thing.
do the same thing.
Yes.
Oh, that looks great. That color's your perfect color. If only
Yes.
the lighting were like this, and then I do this. Yes.
Yep, you got that right. Despite the fact that you mentioned that your anxieties showed up during the session and everything, would that portrait session be something you would recommend other women if they consider that and still on the fence about that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think every woman should get to have a portrait session where it's all about them, and in different outfits so that it kind of tailors to different parts of their lives, whether it's business or home or an activity that they do. And they can just, they feel special and they feel seen. I think that would definitely help any woman, and make them feel like a princess.
I agree. And my last question is
Mhm.
how someone can actually reach out to you after listening to how passionate you are about your work and what you
Oh,
can do
where
to
I
help
work?
anybody. Yes.
I work at Skin Spirit in Westlake Hills, and I am a physician assistant who specializes in aesthetics. I've been doing it for over 14 years. If you are interested in starting your journey, finding the beauty that we all know that you have and feeling more confident about your skin, then just come see me. You can also look at my work on Instagram, sandy.lanier.pa, and you'll see that, I am what I say. I'll give you tips and tricks. I'll tell you some of my favorite products and why, things to avoid, things to look forward to, specials that are going on, and hopefully I can help you define what is your beauty, and help you along your journey to get there.
Thank you. And I will add the links to
Sure.
your business and
Mhm.
your Instagram
Oh, thank you.
in the article. Thank you so much.
Of course, of course. Thank you. And thank you for the surprise.
Oh, yes, of course. That was amazing.